Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Simmons, and for the next 2 weeks, we are going to be talking about watermelons. So, every day of summer school, we are going to read the book Watermelons by Krista Joy. And at the end of the story, we're going to have a different activity that's going to focus on different things. So, we're going to be doing that for the next 2 weeks. So before we get started, I want to talk to you guys about your vocabulary board. So in your packet, I sent home a vocabulary board that looks like this. So go ahead and take a second to get that out so that you can follow along as we go over it and then throughout the story. So the vocabulary board at the very top has a picture of a watermelon. And like I said, we're going to be talking about watermelons for the next 2 weeks. So watermelons is the main idea of our story. It's what our story is about. So as we see the picture here, we see the watermelon has green on the outside and red on the inside. And also, watermelon is a fruit. So we're going to go over each of these words on our vocabulary boards, and then we'll get started. So let's look at the first row. We have a picture here, and our picture is of a hand squeezing something to make juice. So I'm going to assume that that's watermelon. So our word is juicy. Our next word is sweet. So sweet is the way that something can taste. Sometimes things taste spicy or salty, but our word is sweet. Our next word is vine. So a vine is like a type of plant, a vine. Next, we have flower. We have this yellow flower. Our last picture is a picture of a tree and flowers with sunshine, and that picture is describing our word summer. Let's move to the next row. We have a basket, and our word is picnic. Next, we have seeds. Then we have a farm, and in our picture we can see different plants and vegetables and fruits growing. So this is a picture of a farm. Then we have salad. You can see different lettuce, and also there's some red things in there. I wonder if that's watermelon. I think we'll find out in our story. Next, we have salsa. If we move on to the third row, we have a picture of juice. Our second picture says pickles. The last three pictures on our vocabulary board are ways to express how we're feeling during our story. So our first one says, I like that. So maybe there's something that I say in the story that's really interesting or funny or you just think is cool. That's a way to communicate that you like it. You could show one of your family members or a friend, whoever you're doing your work with, that you like that. So by pointing at that, you're saying, I like that. You're enjoying that page or that statement. I don't like that. So maybe it's something you're not interested in or something you think is gross. I don't like that. And lastly, I need a break. If you need to stop and take a break, you can point to this picture and just let someone know I need a break. So I want you guys to keep this vocabulary board out with you while I read the story. I'm going to go back up to the very first page. The title of our story is Watermelons by Krista Joy. So Krista Joy is our author. She wrote the words in our story. I love watermelons. They are juicy and sweet. Watermelons are perfect for a picnic. Watermelons are a fruit that grow in the summer. Watermelons grow on a vine. Watermelons start out as a flower. Then a small green fruit will grow where the flower used to be. It takes a long time for a watermelon to mature. They will grow for almost 85 days before they are ready to be picked and eaten. Today, most watermelons do not have any seeds, but they used to. Watermelons used to have big black seeds that were fun to count and spit. You can still find some watermelons with seeds, but it is not easy. Farmers have specifically grown and bred watermelons to have very small, white seeds that can be eaten. Most watermelon is red, but did you know some varieties that are pink, yellow, or white? What can you make with watermelon? You can make juice, right here's juice, salad, salsa, and even sherbet. Some people even use the rind or the outer shell of the watermelon to make pickles. Do you like watermelon? Make sure you try some this summer, maybe on a picnic. So that is the end of our story about watermelons. So why don't you take a minute and look at your vocabulary board and pick any word you want that was a detail in our story. And maybe go back to that page and reread that detail. So for example, I'm going to pick the word summer. So right here, summer. And I'm going to go back and find the word summer in my story. Here it is. Watermelons are fruit that grow in the summer. So the main idea is watermelons, and the detail is that they grow in the summer. So why don't you try to do that? So take a second and pause the video and choose a detail and go back and read that page. Next, what we're going to do is in the packet I sent home, I also sent home a watermelon circle map. And this activity, we are going to talk about watermelon, the main idea of our story, and all the details from the story. So what you need to do is have someone cut out the details for you and place them out in front of you. And then we're going to choose one detail and talk about that detail and glue it anywhere we want in our circle map. So in the very center, we see watermelon because that's our main idea. And now we're going to talk about the details in our story. So if you need to pause the video to cut, go ahead and do that now. All right, our first word is red. So anywhere you want, find this picture and then glue it anywhere you want. So the picture is a red circle and it has the word red underneath. And red is a detail about watermelons because the inside of a watermelon is red. Another detail in our story is the word sweet. So find this picture. And their example is of some candy. Also looks like they have a picture of a person and then some candy next to them. So sweet. And we talked about how watermelon is sweet. So that's the way it tastes. Another detail in our story was juicy. So find the word juicy. Here's what the picture looks like with the word juicy underneath. And when I think of watermelon, I definitely think of how juicy it is. Sometimes it can be a little bit messy. The juice kind of rolls down your chin or gets all over your hands. So watermelon is very juicy. Our next word is seeds. So you're going to find the picture of the seeds. And we talked about in our story how farmers now have made it so that watermelons don't really have seeds anymore, or they're white seeds that we can eat instead of the black seeds that we have to spit out. Seeds. Our next word is summer. So summer has a picture of a tree with some flowers, a sun, and summer is one of our seasons. And in our story, we learned that watermelons grow in the summer. Our next word is vine. Here's a picture of a vine. So that detail from our story was that watermelons grow on vines. Our next word is flower. So look for the yellow flower. And flower was in our story because watermelons they grow on vines and they grow from the flower. After they start growing from the flower, they become small melons. So find the word small melon. You can see it's green. It's a small melon. So they start from vines, the flowers grow, the small melon grows, and then at the end we get a nice big juicy sweet watermelon. And our last word, our last detail is fruit. Watermelon is a fruit. Our picture has some other fruits. Looks like an apple, banana, cherry. So those are different kinds of fruit. But this story was about the specific fruit, watermelon. All right, and that is where we're going to stop today. So today our main idea of our story was watermelon, and we found so many different details in our story. And we talked about each one of those details. Now tomorrow we're going to reread our story and we're going to focus on another skill. I look forward to you guys working hard with me tomorrow. If you have any questions, have your mom, your dad, your grandma, grandpa, your family member reach out to me and we will go from there. But everyone have a great rest of your day. Thanks for learning with me.